Less than a year ago, it looked like the Dallas Mavericks had finally started to break through. While they were eliminated in 5 games by the Golden State Warriors, they were capping off a season where they won 50 plus games and made it to the Western Conference Finals under coach Jason Kidd in his first year, and Luka Doncic had made it past the first round for the first time in his career. It appeared he may also have a real second guy beside him in Jalen Brunson, who had broken out in his absence, along with a nice cast of role players and a coach and Kidd who had done a great job overall in year 1 with the Mavs. Fast forward to today, and this team has acquired Kyrie Irving and Christian Wood over that time period, but currently sit in 11th place in the Western Conference and are 3-7 in their last 10, with their franchise players showing clear signs of frustration and them being swept by the second worst in the Eastern Conference Charlotte Hornets without LaMelo Ball or Terry Rozier. As for Luka Doncic, he is still playing at an insane level, putting up an unreal 33 points, 9 boards, and 8 assists on 61% true shooting in 60 games played this season, but his attitude this season has raised some questions. In Sunday's loss to Charlotte, Doncic picked up his 16th technical foul of the season and will be suspended for their next game. Doncic said in a post-game presser after the Mavs' first loss to Charlotte, "It's really frustrating. I think you can see it with me on the court. Sometimes I don't feel it's me out there. I used to have fun, be smiling on the court, but it's just been so frustrating for a lot of reasons, not just basketball. I don't talk about my private life, but there's just a lot going on." Some of his close friends on the team, such as Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson, and Boban Marjanovic, have all departed, and it's clear Doncic's attitude and this Mavs team's chemistry is nowhere near it once was. And then you have Kyrie Irving. The Mavericks, desperate to find a co-star for Doncic, who demanded improvements from their roster, took a chance on Irving, who is on an expiring deal. Since trading for Irving, the team is 7-13, and they've been 3-8 when both Irving and Doncic play. But individually, Irving has been playing very well, averaging 27 points and 6 assists for Dallas on 63% true shooting in the 15 games he has appeared in. There still remains questions though regarding him if the Mavericks would want to pay a player like him who has been so unreliable in recent times, and even if he would want to re-sign with the Mavericks. Nonetheless though, he has played at a high level since becoming a Maverick, and I wouldn't point to him as the catalyst for this team's struggles. One top 6 to 7 player and another top 15 to 20 player, and this team is in 11th place. So what's wrong? Really? Everything else for Dallas. The rest of this team's roster is poor to say the least, and Jason Kidd hasn't done nearly as good of a job this season. Christian Wood, who's supposed to be the third guy for this team, hasn't received consistent playing time from Kidd and really struggles on the defensive end. But Wood this season has been very good on the offensive end. He's putting up 17-7 on 63% true shooting and averages 20-9 when he starts, with the Mavericks being 9-8 in those games. In his last 20 games though, Kidd is only playing him 21 minutes a night, and in that period the Mavs are just 7-13. While Wood is poor on defense, it's pretty apparent he's the team's third best guy, and you have to play your best players. But when looking at why Wood doesn't play, you see one of this team's very apparent holes rise. Their 3 best players are all clear negatives on defense, and while Kidd has tried to make adjustments playing guys like Frank Ntilikina and Justin Holiday, who are known more for their defense, he may just need to accept this team for what it's going to be, a team that outscores teams and not one that locks teams down, which was much closer to the team's identity last season, where they were the second best scoring defense in the entire league. And if Kidd is going to lead into this team's offensive identity, 2 other guys he should start playing more are Josh Green and Jaden Hardy. Hardy is a pure bucket getter, and while as a rookie there are questions about his decision making, defense, and efficiency, he is clearly capable of giving them a boost. When he's on the court with Kyrie Irving, the Mavs average 137.8 points per 100 possessions, and he might be the other shot creator they need in this rotation. As for Green, he is maybe this team's best perimeter defender and ultra efficient. He's also another player along with Hardy and Wood who has received inconsistent minutes from Jason Kidd this season, and I really do think he needs to play more consistently, and he has recently. which is good for the Mavericks, but nonetheless, Green is going to be a really important player in these final 7 games of the season if the Mavericks can make that push back into the play-in picture. One thing that is very apparent though for this Mavericks team is that they lack defense and players with individual defensive ability, but also a rim protector. JaVale McGee was signed this offseason to somewhat fill that role for them, and he really hasn't. Guys like Dwight Powell and Davis Bertans aren't that either, and Maxi Kleber is a good defender but has struggled with injuries, and you need more than just him. This season has left so many questions going into this offseason for the Mavericks, and there are still 7 games to play that could shake it up even more. Starting with their stars, do you and can you re-sign Kyrie Irving? And is Luka Doncic's constant frustration a concern? Do you bring back Christian Wood after a season where, as said previously, he has shown some really nice things on offense, but defensively he's not a good fit with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and I don't know if he would want to re-sign, as he may be feeling underutilized, which is completely fair for a player of his talent and stature, and he doesn't exactly have better players playing over him here in Dallas. Also, speaking of the man who hasn't played him that much, Jason Kidd. Do you bring back Jason Kidd? Do you consider firing him after a great first season in Dallas, but a really poor second season? You know, his rotations and man management, you could say, has been poor to an extent, but you could also make the argument that their roster this season, besides their 2 superstars, has been pretty poor. There are also clear holes on this roster, as I just said, in terms of lack of rim protection clearly and wing defense. It's clear Dallas needs a new assortment of role players around Doncic, and it seems there will certainly be a roster shakeup. They have 8 guys under contract for next season, and out of those 8, I'd guess Doncic, Hardy, and Green are definitely back. Kleber, Bullock, and Hardaway Jr. could all be put in a deal, but I would guess they remain as well. But that's only 6 guys, and clear holes remain on this squad. The Mavericks pick this year also belongs to the Knicks, but is top 10 protected, and it's looking more and more like they may actually be able to keep their pick. Overall, they're in a very murky position right now, and it's super unclear what the future holds for Luka Doncic and this Mavericks team. It's going to be very interesting to see what direction they go this offseason. Do they trade for another star, possibly giving up guys such as Hardaway, maybe one of their young guys like Hardy or Green, and a future pick? Do they invest in new role players alongside Doncic? Do they bring back Kyrie Irving? Only time will tell, but overall a very poor season up to this point for Dallas, and a lot of questions going into this offseason. I thank y'all for watching, and peace out.